to TCHC.
Say hi to the cream.
24 years to house 80,000 people.
Hello to my team.
To pump social housing. We're calling the people for needed, and we need to be building housing. I'd like to introduce Rosie De Silva, longtime social housing activist from Toronto's East End. She has led the fight to save TCHC in her community.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Hello, friends. Hello, fellow tenants of social housing. This is an awesome gathering of people standing in unity. So what do we do when social housing is under attack? And what do I do when my home's under attack? I fight back. My name is Rosie De Silva. I'm a Toronto housing tenant of a single dwelling home, a member of Tenants for Social Housing, and I'm a damn proud tenant. I've lived in my neighborhood for 30 years, and I've raised my 3 children there. I know my neighbors, and my neighbors care about me and my family. 50 years ago, at the age of 15, I took part in a demonstration in my school uniform in my birth country, South Africa. This demonstration was against the forced removal of whole communities of disenfranchised people so that the government could sell off the land to white-owned corporations and make money. Let's fast forward 50 years. In October, Toronto Community Housing voted to sell approximately 700 single-dwelling homes. This means that TCHC would be undertaking a mass eviction or a forced removal of all the tenants. So here we are, 50 years later, in a protest movement which mirrors the days of apartheid South Africa. Toronto Community Housing is rushing a plan to sell our homes and evict tenants en masse without the information to have a real discussion about people, our homes, and the state of repairs, because in the end, this is what it's about. They want to pit tenants against tenants, but they fail to recognize that we stand together on this. Not one home will be sold to pay for the crisis that TCHC and the city created. Toronto Housing is hoping that the Executive Committee of City Council itself, and the province will all buy into the ideology of shipping us out of our communities. And so far, we're seeing this take place through the budget that's being debated. Instead of the city finding ways to provide more affordable housing for people, which we all know is cheaper and more efficient for the city, they are proposing to cut over $6 million out of TCHC's budget and are proposing further cuts to shelters and affordable housing. There is an attack on tenants in the city, and we are here to say it has to stop. At the board meeting in October, we asked and offered to work with Toronto Housing on innovative ideas to what TCHC has called a massive debt crisis. We even asked for a deferral of their report to reconsider their proposal to sell off our homes. They voted down the one recommendation for sanity to prevail and to defer the report. They voted to sell off our homes. This ideologically driven agenda is a basic violation of human rights, and we are not the only people talking about this. Thousands of people have signed our petition and are speaking out against the sale of our homes. And just last week, 4 past mayors wrote to City Council and the Minister of Housing to speak out against the sale of our homes. Past mayors Crombie, Sewell, and Eggleton, as well as past mayor and current Ontario Human Rights Commissioner Barbara Hall, are calling on the city to stop this sale and to find real solutions to the problems we're facing. In fact, the ball is rolling. Today, I got an email, a very supportive email from a very prominent architect in Toronto, voicing his opposition as well. We have been fighting the sale every step of the way, and we will continue to do so, even if it takes us to Queen's Park. With all who want to come on board with us. We will work with anyone who wants to join us in our campaign. Our message to City Council and our message to Kathleen Wynne, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, is clear. Do not sign off on this. Do not sell off our homes. We are not for sale.
We are not for sale! We are not for sale! Social housing is not for sale! Not for sale! Oh, okay. Over the past few months, we have all been inspired by the campaign to save our public libraries, right? We have heard from library users, all of us as general public, renowned authors about the importance of library as the hub of our neighborhoods. Now tonight, we're going to hear from a library worker. Brian Raymond is a member of QP Local 4948. He works in the Central Toronto Reference Library, and he's an executive member of the local. Brian? Libraries are not for sale!
Good evening, brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining tonight, this wonderful rally that we have out here. I am Brian, and I'm a worker at the Toronto Reference Library. Okay. On behalf of all the library workers at Toronto Public Library, I'd like to thank... Technical difficulties. I'll just read that back.
This paper's still on the other side.
All right. Anyways, as we're saying, Toronto Public Libraries have been in the news, as you all know, and it's been a very difficult time for us. I would like to thank the people of Toronto for their tremendous support during this very difficult budget process and this very public fight that we waged against the Ford administration as they tried to get the library service. With your help, we beat back the Ford regime on library closures and open hour cuts. But we are still facing cuts to library workers' jobs. 107 to be exact. Toronto Public Library will have experienced the 17% cut in its workforce since amalgamation. This is not only a loss of livelihood for a worker today, but a loss of opportunity for the next generation to be able to work, as I have had the privilege of doing for the past 16 years for the Toronto Public Library system, and to be able to become that important person in Toronto, a taxpayer, which we all are, Mr. Mamaliti, Mr. Ford, and Mr. Del Grande. Just in case you forgot, we are taxpayers. Toronto told us that a library made their city more livable and prosperous. Yet, despite the fact that 18 million citizens come through our doors last year, the Fords still continue to target the library budget. Already with the approved cuts, there will be less books on the shelves and a more personal library experience as machines replace workers on the front line. We know that libraries make this city great. Libraries make a difference in the lives of low-income families and new Canadians. Shame on Budget Chief Del Grande for saying that library materials should only be bought in English. In our Toronto, the most multicultural city in the world.
Shame!
I would like to give one shout out to Councillor Raymond Cho today, who put forward a motion to try and roll back some of the budget cut that the city continues to want to put through. We are still facing a $3 million cut, but I would like to thank him for that. So thank you for being here today to continue to deliver the message to the Ford administration that this budget lunacy must stop. Thank you very much, Toronto.
Libraries under attack! What do we do? I must say, I can't see any of you, but it looks great, and you are all here in the rain. So we're going to move it along. The next up is, in this budget, they have announced that 3 shelters are being cut. Shelters that house the ones that are most vulnerable are under attack, under the threat of being contracted out. Speak to us about this important impact on such a short-sighted strategy and ideas from this Ford administrations. We have a shelter worker works at Seton House, Bernadette Hood, a member of QB Local 79. No contracting out! No contracting out!
Sisters and brothers, Toronto, how are you doing tonight? My name is Bernadette Hood. I work at a city shelter. I'm here to tell you and to speak from my heart. This is a very difficult time for shelter workers and also our clients. On a daily basis, at the shelter where I work, we see about 100 to 150 people coming through our doors. They come on a daily basis looking for food and shelter. At this time, I cannot tell you how difficult it is and how uncomfortable it is for the people we serve. At this time, we have 3 of our shelters under attack. Bellwoods, to name one, Fort York Shelter, and also our shelter out there who house the old men called Birchmount Residence. Where are we going to house an 80-year-old man, our father? I want to tell you that we need to understand what is happening, because with these shelter cuts, we have a number of other employees who cook and clean the shelters. They are also under attack. Our sisters and brothers will be out of jobs. Toronto, we are asking you to get out here. Keep up the momentum. Keep it up. Please, come out. Come out, because we are under attack. We need to keep the homeless people in the shelters. As our sister who went before said, the housing stock owned by the TCHC are going to be sold. So where are we going to put the homeless people? If there are no housing, where will they go?
Occupy!
So we need to know, we need to continue to keep up this fight. I will leave you with this. So.
Solidarity!
So.
Solidarity!
So.
Solidarity!
Thank you very much, sisters and brothers.
If there's one abysmal, totally revolting attack, it's the attack on children in this city. Subsidized daycare spaces for moms and fathers to subsidize their children. Aaron George is going to speak today from Mothers of Children. Mothers for Childcare, sorry. Mothers for Childcare. Mothers for Childcare. We all know that our neighbors and fathers and grandparents are also for childcare, so thank you for being here today. Ford has created a crisis so that he can attack what makes our city great. Woo! But you are not going to let him do that. They're attacking our shelters, our community housing, our libraries, our child care centers. And we are going to stop him. These little kids up here are not gravy. Mothers for Childcare did a survey last year and found that the waiting list in Toronto for childcare spaces is so long that most mothers said they should have applied before they were pregnant. And Ford's budget proposes not building childcare centers, not creating more spaces for these little ones, but to cut spaces, to close 3 childcare centers, close 100 childcare spaces. We don't have room in the system for that. The waiting list is too long. We need a mayor and a council that will build our city, that will build childcare, that will create more spaces. The Mothers for Childcare, we're with you. We're with all the other campaigns that are fighting to defend our city, our great city, because our city is not the city of Ford and his councillors. Our city is a city of kids like this, of recreation centers, of community housing, of libraries, of pools, of great TTC service, and we're going to continue to fight so that our kids can have a great city too and have public, safe daycare while we're at work.
We just have one more message to Mayor and his council. Keep your mitts off our childcare centers. Well said.
I just want to say it's so awesome that so many people are here, and we're standing out in the rain, and we're united to fight against the cops with our neighbors and our communities. The Ford brothers have the luxury of having home gyms, want to be healthy. At the same time, they should be caring about the health of all residents of Toronto. Cutting rec centers and swimming pools, increasing user fees, removing bike lanes, not expanding, cutting HIV and drug prevention grants that not only reduce and stop the transmission of HIV and Hep C, but also support the thousands of people living with HIV in our community. A mayor with a vision would care about the health of all of us.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
Stop!
The rain is not going to stop us from chanting, right? Tonight Canadian auto workers who's here with us. And then we also have Occupy Toronto folks who are here. We are all part of the 99%. Next up, on April 9th, when we mobilized for the 10,000 people rally, we asked the Ford administration to stop privatizing our jobs, to stop privatizing and contracting out. Over the last few months, the Ford administration has ran through that contracting out of the garbage collectors. So as of coming summer, west of Yonge Street, the garbage collection will be done by contractors. Coming summer, over 300 solid waste management workers will lose their jobs. One of them, Brian Damasco, is here with us, and he's going to speak about the stress and the experience of being a frontline workers in the city. Thank you.
How are you today, ladies and gentlemen? Brothers and sisters, as Winnie says, I'm glad to be here to offer a couple of insights into what we're going through. First of all, I represent the family man who works every day. I have 3 kids at home and been with the City of Toronto for 15 years. The second thing I represent is Local 416. And I got a news for Rob Ford. We're not giving up without a fight, Ford. See, Rob Ford wants to blame my local and the working class people for the mistakes that those industry, KPMG and BMO and all those mistakes that Bay Street made. They want to blame us for the economy. And they want me to take a pay cut so I can't raise my children. Well, I got news for Rob Ford. We're mobilizing and we're organizing, and we're not going to stand still while you take what's ours. See, they say they got provisions in our contract. Well, guess what? The city sat down across from our local and agreed to those provisions. And those provisions will protect a guy like me, a family man who's been with the city long enough that he knows what this is all about. My brothers and sisters represent a lot of Toronto. We represent Toronto Water. We represent the transportation unit that plows your streets. We represent TCHC, who are now under contract negotiations. So, like I said, and my brothers and sisters that are in the garbage are getting beaten down. Their managers are hammering them left, right, and center. And why? Not because they're not qualified to do the job. They're not asking me to leave because I'm unqualified to do the job, because I wouldn't have been there 15 years to start. They're asking me to leave because they want my wages. Well, I got news for you. Like my president says, you're going to have to take them out of my dying, clawing hand. 2 more things I want to say to you before I got to go, because I don't want to take up the whole night. Number 1 is, get on those buses on Saturday to go to Caterpillar and help to support those people. Because they're the ones under the fight now. They want a 50% rollback on their wages. And number 2 is, if the no board comes down anytime soon and you see our picket lines out there, you come out and support us. Local 416 and QP.
We're still out here. So, what they didn't expect was for us to organize ourselves. They didn't expect the hundreds of people to make deputations at all-night meetings, to form community groups, to demonstrate, to call, email, write their city councillors. The councillors who at this hour are still supporting our millionaire mayor, I have one message for you. Your political careers are over.
Done.
You chose not to listen. And now we are more engaged in city politics than ever. The days of sitting
August is 12. You look so beautiful out there. I can see you all. As you've already heard, my name is Nigel Brief, and I'm a school teacher and a member of Toronto Stop the Cuts Network. And we've been organizing ever since Mayor Ford and his Tea Party buddies took over. The network has over 11 community-based committees with over 3,000 signatures on its manifesto. The community I'm from, Etobicoke North, and many others like it, will be disproportionately affected by these cuts. So this damn shame. So this is why it's important for all of us to come together, to stand together and build coalition, to show that today, community and labor stand